Hey, you all. Welcome back. How are y'all doing? How have y'all been? I hope you've been well. I have been great. Baby Genius is great. Hubby is great. And of course, the dogs, Onyx and Isis, they are great. I wanted to do a video today because I'm off today. And so I dropped Baby Genius off at school, went to Target, came back, started cleaning, and said, I wanted to do a video. So while I have the time and the husband's at work and the baby's at daycare, I can create a video. So let's start with the most serious topic first, which is Miss Carlee Russell. So I am disheartened. I am disappointed that based on the facts, okay, not speculation, based on the facts, this was all an elaborate ruse. This was a lie that Carlee made up, okay? We don't know why. It has not been confirmed by the police. This is an ongoing investigation per their press conference yesterday. There is speculation. There is a rumor that she did this for a man. Once again, I don't know if that's true or not because that has not been confirmed. What I will say is this. I advocate for Black women and Black girls on a daily basis. I am not new to this. I am true to this, and I do it for free, me and many others, okay? It cost me nothing to post her missing persons flyer. It cost me nothing to send up a prayer and ask the Lord for her safe return. I did it out the bottom of my heart. I do these things because this is a passion of mine. This is a mission of mine, as well as many others. I'm not the only one, of course. But something about how people reported this case, even from the beginning, felt so transactional for me. It felt as if people were just doing this to pad their pockets. Just like they did with the submersible, which, I didn't care about that. I mean, listen, I'm not going under nobody's ocean to see the damn Titanic. Not at all. You couldn't pay me to do it. Literally, you could not. So I really didn't care. But one thing I hate about content creation nowadays, and it's just the way it is, there's always a hot topic from week to week, from day to day. There's always something that seems more important than the next. And literally, it's not that people cover these stories because they care about Black missing women or Black missing children or Black missing men. They only do it because they know if there's a hot topic in the news, it will draw people to their pages or to their channels and they can make money from it, which is a shame. Years ago, I came across a content creator, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I think her name is Leah Gordon, and she's a Black woman that features, cases about other Black women who are missing, who have been harmed, or who they're unalived. And these are stories that I've never heard before because our stories don't get told. And she gives a voice to the voiceless. I didn't see that with a lot of content creators, with the majority of content creators with Carlee Russell, even before it was confirmed that she had created this elaborate hoax. It just seemed like this was a pile on. It seemed like people were they were just out for blood. It seemed like it. I'm not entitled to know her story. Like I said, it's sad, and I'm going to pray for her because obviously she needs some healing. There's some inner work to do. There's going to probably be legal consequences and there's going to be social consequences, but also her family. Her family got thrown in the middle of this, and unfortunately they were harassed. And you all know I don't use the terms harassed and bullied lightly or loosely. They were harassed by people demanding answers that they weren't entitled to. I saw so many people say, you asked for our public prayers and now you want privacy. You better give us a story. What type of testicular or ovarian fortitude do you have to think that someone owes you a damn thing about their family? They don't. Their family has the right to privacy even now. Even now. Carlee owes people answers, but it's not us. We're not entitled to it. She is going to have to take accountability, whether by force or by volunteering. She's going to have to take accountability. But who she owes apologies to are her family, her local community, because it's my understanding that they organized a search party. And then the only other conversations after that are between her therapist and the Lord, and also the police, which I think the police say that she refused to answer any further questions, which, baby, you're going to do it regardless because there will be legal consequences more than likely. I'll be surprised if they don't. I'll be surprised if there aren't legal consequences. But with that being said, she still doesn't owe us.
Also, to my understanding, there was a mom of a daughter who was kidnapped and eventually unalived, unfortunately. And she was there to also help with the search party, and she gave her efforts. Carlee also owes her an apology, just to be clear, because I know someone's going to say that in the comment.
There were people saying, I want my prayer back. You have to be a disgusting, low down, dirty individual to ask for your prayer back, because you should have did it out of the goodness of your heart and not expecting anything in return. And like I said earlier, it just seems like content creation is so transactional. It's so about how much money can you make, how many likes can you get, how many views, how many shares. And I get it because, for some people, this is the main way that they pay their bills. This is their profession. But I'm not making a mockery out of Black missing women and children and men. It's just not funny to me, especially when you advocate on a daily basis. And this is what you do. This is who you are. If you're so upset about Carlee Russell, hell, there's thousands of missing Black women. Why not start featuring that content on your TikTok pages, on your YouTubes? Because you're not about this life. This is just a moment in time. This is just to line your pockets. You can be disappointed. Hell, you can be angry. But honestly, what does that resolve? It doesn't. Take your anger and funnel it into something that's good, because there are actual missing Black women out there and their families are desperate for answers. And the police departments have given up because legally, if you're an adult, you can go missing, you can disappear, and that's perfectly legal. So just pivot and focus your efforts elsewhere. But demanding the family to give you an answer and harassing them because people did harass them, that is completely out of line. Completely out of line. And social media has deluded some of you all to think that you have the right to things that you don't have the right to, and that you have the right to harass people. I will be so glad when they tighten up laws surrounding internet bullying and harassment, because a lot of you people should be thrown in jail. And that leads me to my next thought. I keep seeing various Black women, which I'm truly saddened by, call for harsh punishment of Carlee. Okay, let's say she does receive a severe punishment from the police. What does that do for you? There have been other communities that have literally unalived us and gotten away with it. George Zimmerman, Darren Wilson. But yet she created a hoax, an elaborate one, absolutely. And you want her what, thrown up under the jail cell? Are you seriously advocating for this Black woman to be harshly punished because she lied? I expect this from other communities, but from our community, especially Black women, the call is coming from inside at this point. I'm so disheartened that so many of you are on this train of, okay, now we need punishment. I'm calling for her to be arrested. Oh my God. Please disabuse yourself from respectability politics. We can't say that we're not monolithic and then turn around and say that she makes us look bad and she sets us back. She does not set us back, because the truth is they weren't looking for us anyway. I'm actually very proud of how we were able to work as a collective, because at first this story wasn't getting any attention. And honestly, Carlee knew that. Carlee knew that missing Black women don't get the attention that our white counterparts get. She did not expect this story to blow up the way that it did, because honestly, the majority of our stories don't. And here we are. Like I said, I wish Carlee the best. I do think there's going to be some serious legal and, social implications from this, but this is what happens. I mean, it's normal curiosity to wonder why she did it, of course, but we're not entitled to that story. Like I said, I don't know why. I wonder if she has a history of this, possibly, because I know with Sherry Papini, when I first heard of that story last year, I remember her parents or her sister or somebody saying that she always lies. Like, this is what she does. She incessantly lies. And I wonder if that's the same thing with Carlee, but who's to know? Only time will tell. The investigation is not closed, is ongoing. So I'm sure we will hear something in the next few weeks concerning it. So let's move on to Maurice and Kimmy. Not much to say here. Just wanted to give my opinion about Maurice being a disrespectful piece of trash. Because that's all he is. Like, your wife is literally in the battle for her life, in the fight for her life. And you say that in exchange for you being by her side and supporting her in battling breast cancer, she gets to roll over, bend over, and suffer through it and take it. What garbage you have to be. Your wife is sick. Cancer is a serious disease, and it takes people out with no mercy. None. And from my understanding, Kimmi had one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer. And instead of you nurturing her, loving on her, helping her, holding her hand, rubbing her back, making sure that she's comfortable, the only thing you could think about is your penis. And I watched the interview they had with TGIF with Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and Funky Dineva. And initially, I thought that TGIF had asked them to be on the show. But then yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, sometime this week, I was watching Millie Chun, and Millie Chun interviewed Funky Dineva. And during that interview, he said their people, Kimmi and Maurice's publicists, reached out to them. So that was supposed to be damage control. And it was the antithesis. It was everything except that. And when I look back on the interview, there was a part where Maurice said that he found out on TV while the cameras were filming that Kimmi was faking it. She had never told him that off camera. And from his retelling of that story, I kind of am of the opinion that he is doing all of this to embarrass her because he was embarrassed. His little fragile ego was hurt and bruised. And so he is deciding to embarrass Kimmi in the same way that he feels she embarrasses him. Meanwhile, she's battling breast cancer. I don't know how some of y'all women get with men who are y'all enemy, but we got to stop this. Because literally, Kimmi is sleeping with her enemy. Ain't no way in hell. Let me tell you something. I can't imagine. I remember when I was giving birth to baby Genius, Mr. Canary literally was by my side the entire time. So much so that the nurses was like, oh my God, you have such a good husband. She said, you would be surprised the husbands that we have in here. I had 3 nurses tell me that. Out of the 5 nurses that took care of me, 3 nurses told me that. 3. Because, you know, after you give birth, you're bleeding and stuff. My husband helped me take a shower. He helped me dry off. He would help me to the bathroom, help me use the restroom. He would clean up the bathroom. The nurse was like, oh no, that's my job. He was like, oh no, I can clean it up. You know, he said, no big deal. And they were so impressed by that. Helping to feed me and do everything. And the fact that I wasn't even sick, I went through childbirth, right? Which we know is a lot, to say the least. Literally, childbirth is hard. It is difficult. Pregnancy is difficult, okay? Even if you have a normal one with no complications like I did, it is difficult, okay? He held my hand through it. Nothing but positive affirmations, everything. Everything. Advocating for me, everything. Kimmi is battling cancer, and her husband can't think of anyone but his damn self and his penis. It is sad to see. But you know, I'm not going to say that she should divorce him because, listen, these women know the men they married to, okay? They be knowing who they married to. They don't want you to know that they know, but they know. Kimmi knows who Maurice is. She was with him 8 years before he married her. She knows exactly who he is. Now, I'm not a clinician. I'm not a psychologist, so I am probably out of line for what I'm about to say. But I believe that Maurice has some type of sexual addiction. Him having sex with 6 women in one night, him saying that he doesn't want sex, but he needs it. Imagine if a crack addict said, I don't want crack, I need it. We would call them a drug addict and a drug abuser. If someone says, I don't want alcohol, I need it, we would call them an alcoholic. Maurice has something similar going on. There's something that needs to be worked out. And I'm surprised that it hasn't been addressed in their marriage until now. I am very surprised it hasn't been addressed. Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because Kimmi kind of lets Maurice do whatever he want to do. And that's just that. There's an alarm going off somewhere and my dog hears it. Please forgive the barking. See, if it's not one thing, it's another. But Onyx, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Let me hurry up. So, but I'm not surprised because Kimmi kind of lets Maurice, run over her. And Kimmy's not an angel, right? Like, I've seen the episodes this season where she told Kiowa it was a question of character, that she wouldn't dispel the myth that she's a side chick. How dare you ask the ex-wife to dispel myths that you are a side chick when you were indeed a side chick? He was legally married when you met him. What's the problem? I don't see why it's hard for Kimmi to get that through her head. Then she likes to change up her language. First it was, he was 2 months out on a 6-month waiting period from the divorce being finalized. Then it was, oh no, he wasn't married when we started dating, which was a lie. Then it's, I'm not the responsible party for the divorce. No, you're not, but you still were sleeping with a married man. To the point that if Maurice would have ended up in the hospital while he was married and dating Kimmi, Kiowa would have been his legal next of kin, sweetie. They would have escorted your ass right on out the hospital room. So please, let's not mistake it. You were willing and dealing with Maurice while he was married. They may have not been actively together, but I do believe, based on the type of person Maurice is, that there was some willing and dealing at play. He was bouncing back and forth between both of them. He was telling Kimmi one thing, telling Kiowa another. That's the reason why she thought they were going to reconcile. End of story. But I don't believe, while I believe that Kimmi can be full of crap, I don't believe that she deserves this type of treatment, but Kimmi has to believe that she doesn't deserve this type of treatment. And while I won't go as far as to say I think he was graping Kimmi, because I did see that commentary and I don't agree with that. I saw somebody on TikTok say like, oh, he's graping her. And it's not that, and you all know what I mean by grape. We have to use censored words here on YouTube, right? So understand where I'm going, right? While I don't believe that that was the case with Maurice and Kimmi, Kimmi knows that if she does not satisfy Maurice sexually, that he will cheat. And so she does feel an obligation to suffer through it. And that interview with TGIF was very hard to watch. You could tell that Kimmi was severely disappointed, especially since this was damage control. Maurice just added further. He just fanned the flames. He added more fuel to the fire. And it was disgusting to watch that he refused to apologize. And he refused to apologize because he wasn't sorry. So we'll see what happens later on this season. But, nothing much. I mean, listen, are any of the men on Love and Marriage Huntsville good men? Now, I don't know about Big Titty Lou, right? But Martell, we know about him. Marceau, we know about him. And Maurice, we know about him. Okay, let's move on. Last topic, because my dog is whining and an alarm is going off. Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't have any commentary except for this. It is time to hit the reset button. It's done. It is over. Kenya has nothing else to give us. Candy has nothing else to get us. I like Monyetta, but she don't give us nothing either. Sanya Richardson, I like her, but nothing. Drew should have never even had a chance to audition for the show. I don't care about her and Ralph. At this point, I believe everything is just a story so they can stay on TV. If you want this show to be successful, go back to the drawing board and delete everybody. I personally think you should bring LaToya Forever back on the show. I think she just needs a little mentoring, but I think she would be the perfect housewife. At one point, she had the perfect amount of drama to be a housewife. Go back and consider rehiring her. She just needs a little smoothing, but she would be a good housewife. I liked Shamari DeVoe. Go back and see what she's doing. Ain't nothing. Go back and get her. And then we need to get some women on the show that actually have an established friendship group and they are from Atlanta. Besides LaToya and is Shamari from ATL? I don't know. She might be a transplant. We need people who are true to Atlanta, who are ATLians, who have a friendship group. That's why Married to Medicine is so good, because the majority of these women know each other. Putting strangers together to fight is not entertaining. Because what are you fighting about? Try and get some women that are in their 30s, 40s, hell, even maybe some in their late 20s. because Portia came on the show in her late 20s. Get some people together and let's reset this. They reset New York. New York seems to be a tad bit better, but Real Housewives of Atlanta needs a facelift. While I would love to have Nene back, it ain't gonna happen. You cannot call your boss a crackhead and a racist and expect to be giving your job back, whether it's true or not. Okay? And you try to sue the network. It ain't happening. So let's reset Atlanta, because I'm tired of Sheree. I'm tired of all of them. Every Sunday I watch and it is boring. It is boring. Last topic before I move on. Real Housewives of Potomac, or shall I say Love and Hip Hop Potomac. You know what's funny is that Potomac has been far more violent than Atlanta, and based on geographic location, I would have anticipated the opposite, but here we are. Listen, I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like, if I wanted to watch Love and Hip Hop, I would go on over to MTV, because that's where I hear it's at now. I don't want to watch it. I'm tired of it. Almost every season for the past 3 or 4 seasons, we've had something. We've had something violent occur. And the problem, and you know, I blame Bravo and I blame Andy. This squarely falls on your shoulders. And let me tell you why. You all rewarded Robin for her behavior. You all rewarded Mia for her behavior. And so now this is where we're at. Deborah was rewarded. I mean, we had 4 women create a lie out of thin air. You talk about pulling a Carlee Russell. We had 4 women create a lie out of thin air and attempted to accuse someone's husband of sexual intimidation and possible assault. Giselle, Ashley, Deborah, Mia, and they're still on the show. Whether they're a friend to the show or not, they are still on the show. That is a problem. We have a problem in Potomac. There is a problem. I don't know the ins and outs. I saw the video. I don't know who hit who first. Deborah, if you hit Wendy's friends first, you deserved everything you got. You should always defend yourself. My parents taught me never start anything, but end it. You better finish it. And so, Deborah, if you put your hands on that woman first and she jumped on you, oh well. Now, if she put her hands on you first, that's wrong. That's wrong. I don't like you, Deborah. Not at all. But if she put her hands on you for no reason, that's wrong, period. But in my opinion, you shouldn't even been on the cast. You offer nothing, literally, 0. You don't offer looks. You don't offer fashions. You offer nothing. We here for a good time, okay? We're not here for a bad time. And at this point, Andy, you are not beating you're not beating the rumors. Right? Y'all love violence on Potomac, obviously, and y'all not doing nothing to stop it. I wonder what the meeting looked like this time around. I wonder, do Giselle and Robin feel afraid for their lives and feel like that Deborah and this one girl embarrassed them and this is not the representation they want Black women to have? I wonder, did that conversation happen? It probably didn't. But anyways, we'll get to Potomac when we get to it. Atlanta has been a snooze fest. I am so disappointed. I look forward to them hitting the reset button, although I know they won't, but they might, because I heard due to the ratings, Bravo's in a frenzy. So we'll see. Let me know what you all think. Sorry, this has been a hodgepodge, but I think that's all I want to discuss. If there's nothing else, I will see you all later. Mwah. Bye.